All right, are you ready for this? Today we are doing a deep dive into,
The psychology of attraction.
yes, we are cracking open The Attraction Tripwire by James Bauer.
Ooh.
And this is all about, understanding men and specifically this thing called the hero instinct.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued already. I think you will be too.
Yeah.
It's fascinating how this book kind of connects psychology, evolution, even storytelling. It makes you really kind of think about those like drives that shape how we connect with each other, right?
Right. Like,
Yeah.
I was hooked from the beginning when Bauer starts talking about movies like Ocean's 11. Like, why do we find ourselves rooting for those thieves? I mean, they are criminals,
Yeah, yeah.
but they're so charming and
It is the power of story, right? Like we get pulled into their world, we start to understand them, and we want to see them succeed.
yeah, we do. It's true.
It's true.
And Bauer says that this applies to relationships, too. Like,
Yeah.
he even talks about his reaction to Twilight vampires and werewolves.
Oh,
The whole thing. And he compares it to, like, a physical experience.
yeah.
Like, the story really triggered something deep inside him. And it really highlights how powerful storytelling is, even for someone who, like, analyzes human behavior for a living,
Exactly. It speaks to something about us as humans, right? Like we are hardwired for stories. I mean, think about ancient myths, campfire stories.
Right.
Even like the stories we tell ourselves about who we are, they all shape us,
They do.
shape our experiences and relationships.
Yeah. Okay, so how does this connect to the hero instinct? Like, I'm dying to know more about this hero instinct thing.
Well, Bauer argues that men, they have this like innate drive to be a hero.
Okay.
And not in a grand world-saving sense, but, in their relationships.
Okay.
And to activate this instinct, a woman needs to become part of his story.
Uh-huh.
And she does this by revealing her needs and allowing him to, meet those needs.
So it's like a story with a call to action.
Yeah, yeah.
For the hero, but the hero is the guy in the relationship.
Yeah, exactly. And he even lays out this formula like story plus need equals activated hero instinct.
Wow.
It's about creating a narrative where the man feels essential, needed, and like he can make a difference.
Hmm. So practically speaking, what does that look like in a relationship?
So think of it this way. Men, they often feel driven to be providers and protectors, right? Like feeling needed taps into that, and it makes them feel valued and like they're fulfilling a really fundamental part of who they are.
So instead of saying, like, I can totally fix this leaky faucet myself,
Yeah.
you might say, honey, I'd really appreciate your help with this leaky faucet. You're so much better at these things than I am.
Uh-huh.
Like giving him a chance to be the hero by fixing the faucet.
You've got it. It's not about like playing helpless or, the damsel in distress. It's just about, recognizing his strengths and giving him those opportunities.
Right. Wow. That's
Yeah.
that's pretty insightful. So what happens when a woman does this?
Yeah.
What kind of impact does Bauer say it has on the relationship, tapping into the hero instinct?
He claims the consequences are pretty significant. Like men feel happier, more fulfilled, and they experience deeper feelings of love and attraction. He even suggests that men can actually feel more in love when they feel more needed, which
Is counterintuitive.
Right, right. It seems counterintuitive at first.
Yeah, like we often try to love others in the way we want to be loved,
Right.
But what if men have a different love language?
Mm.
What if their love language is this, like,
Mhm.
need to be a hero?
That's the idea. It challenges us to think about our partners,
Yeah.
and recognize that they might experience love and connection differently than we do.
Okay, that's really making me think. But wouldn't some people say this whole hero instinct thing is a little,
Outdated.
yeah, outdated? Like it reinforces gender roles and stuff like that.
It's a valid point, yeah. But remember, we're just exploring the ideas in this book, right?
Right.
Not endorsing any particular ideology.
Right.
What's fascinating is that regardless of whether we agree with it or not, this concept might give us a new way of looking at relationships.
So it's more about understanding the psychology behind it, whether or not you agree with the implications.
Exactly. It's about understanding what drives behaviors and needs in a relationship. Even if you don't agree with everything, it can still be insightful.
I like that. It's like a thought experiment, What if this idea, even if it's not for everyone, what if it could help us understand our partners better?
Yeah.
What if it could help us build stronger connections?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It's like holding up a mirror,
Yeah.
to your own relationship. But let's say someone is totally on board with this hero instinct idea.
Okay.
Isn't there a risk of it feeling inauthentic. Like,
Right.
what if you're constantly setting up scenarios for your partner to like save the day?
Right.
Wouldn't that feel kind of forced?
Yeah, that's such an important question. It really highlights that you have to approach this with genuine intentions.
Yeah.
The goal isn't to manipulate or create these fake scenarios. It's more about changing your perspective and being mindful of how you ask for things.
Okay, so it's less about being a damsel in distress, right?
Right.
It's more about recognizing and appreciating the ways your partner already contributes.
Yeah. Like, instead of just thanking him for taking out the trash, you might say, I really appreciate you taking care of that. It makes me feel so much more relaxed knowing I don't have to worry about it.
Exactly.
Right.
You're still expressing gratitude, but
Yeah.
you're also like highlighting how his actions impact you,
Exactly.
and the relationship.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
feeding that sense of being needed and appreciated.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm starting to see the nuances here, but let's be real. I mean, some people are going to roll their eyes at this whole hero instinct thing.
Yeah.
They might see it as like overly simplistic
Yeah.
or even a little bit sexist.
Yeah. Right. And that's totally fair.
Yeah.
We have to remember that this is just one perspective.
Yeah.
It's one theory. It's not a universal truth or some set of rules.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So how should we approach this idea? I mean, should we take it with a grain of salt?
I think it's good to approach any psychological concept with a critical mind.
Okay.
Like, the value isn't accepting everything as the ultimate truth, but using it as a way to look at our relationships and see if it fits.
Right, like adding another tool to your relationship toolbox.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what this deep dive is all about, right? Exploring these different ideas and finding what works.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, but let's play devil's advocate for a second. What if someone goes all in on this hero instinct thing
Mm-hmm.
and it just doesn't work?
Uh-huh.
Like, wouldn't that be discouraging?
Yeah. And it's important to remember that relationships are complicated.
Yeah.
There is no magic formula or solution. This
Okay.
might resonate with some couples, but not others. And that's totally okay.
So there's no guarantee of success.
Yeah.
But it could be worth exploring.
Exactly. Yeah. And even if it doesn't magically fix everything, it might give you some insight into your partner.
Okay, so it's a new way of understanding how men experience love and connection,
Yeah, yeah.
even if it's not the complete picture.
Exactly. It's about understanding each other better, you
Mm.
know, and having those moments that lead to deeper connection.
Wow, this has been really interesting.
Yeah.
So if our listener wants to, learn more about this whole hero instinct thing,
Yeah.
what would you suggest?
Well, they could always check out the book, The
Yeah.
Attraction Tripwire.
Right.
Bauer really goes into a lot more detail and gives a bunch of examples and strategies.
Yeah,
It's always good to get the full picture.
right. But just to be clear, we're not endorsing any products or programs here.
No, not at all.
We just like to share ideas and get people thinking.
Absolutely, yeah.
So read the book or don't.
Yeah, it's up to you.
Up to you.
Yeah.
There's tons of info out there about this stuff.
Yeah,
The important thing is to keep learning and growing.
absolutely.
So, on that note, I want to leave our listener with a question to think about.
Okay.
Think about your own relationships,
Yeah.
the ways you express love,
Mm-hmm.
and how your partner expresses love.
Yeah.
Do they match up perfectly, or are there some differences there, that might be causing some friction or misunderstandings?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
Maybe there are ways to tap into this hero instinct in a way that feels authentic to you
Right.
and strengthens that connection. Or maybe there are totally different things that work better.
Right.
Every relationship is unique.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The point is to keep exploring.
Keep communicating.
Yeah. Keep communicating and create a relationship that works for both people.
I love that. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the hero instinct.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Until next time, keep those minds curious and those hearts open.